Peace, family, peace, 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 peace. All right, I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. Today's video is about our shadow side, okay? Listen, honey, if your day is not going good, change your perception. Everything is going to change, okay? So, our shadow side is the part of us that we don't want people to see, right? Oftentimes, we may do things so we could get people to like us or to think that we're nice, when in all actuality is like we really going against ourselves because maybe you just really don't want to do that thing, for someone. And maybe you're not doing it from the heart. And so, because whether you say this person may have pressured you into giving something, or whether you may say, well, I gave them a, and if you really didn't want to give it, right, then don't give it. Okay. So what I see in my life, and I tell you guys, I always speak from experience, things that I've been through, grew through, things that I've been through, gone through, and grew through. Okay. So what I see in my life is, at times I would be like easily pressured, right? And when I say pressured, I mean maybe like being in a relationship. I told you guys before, I would give sex if I didn't want to really give it, right? Because of fear of, maybe the guy isn't gonna like me, or maybe the guy isn't gonna want to be with me, maybe the guy gonna go out to someone else, right? But recently, this is what I had noticed within myself. And whenever you become aware of certain things that you do, it is always good because you can change that. It is not to beat yourself up. It is for you to see exactly how you showing up. And I always say people reflect back to us exactly how we are showing up in life. Okay. They show us our shadow side. So if it's a part of you, whereas though people are showing you something, that's the part that you want to tuck away, right? That's the part that you like, I don't want people to see that, right? Oftentimes it could be maybe you want to speak up, right? Like maybe you want to say some things, right? I have a part of me that's like could get very attitude-ish, right? And at times, I notice as though I don't want to show that part because that part is like, ooh, they may think this or they may say this, right? Even recently, okay, I was walking my youngest son to school. He's 7 years old. And he was, doing the most when we was upstairs in the house right here. And when we was going downstairs, right? Oftentimes, and I became aware, oftentimes, if my children doing something, whatever, sometimes I may still want to portray like, I'm not upset with them, or, I don't feel a certain way about them. So what I do is outside in the public's view, right? I would tend to like hold their hands and, whatever it is like that, as if what just occurred did not occur, right? And who really taught me this? My children, okay? Okay? Because if your children have a whole tube with you, okay, and you trying to like put this facade up, like, you being nice and stuff like that, oftentimes they not gonna accept it because they like what you just did, right? So I remember one particular day, me and my youngest son, we was walking, and I was like, I don't want to hold his hand. Okay, I don't want to, I want to feel what I want to feel right now. And I didn't want to hold his hand, so I didn't hold his hand. I didn't want to put this facade up, right? Because that's teaching them, okay, not to acknowledge their feelings and emotions and stuff like that, okay? Like to fake it, so to speak. So, getting back to what I was saying about the shadow side. So, this person, okay, I had gave this person money, right? It was $1,000 I gave them. And what I noticed was, and the reason why I gave it to them, because they sort of made me feel bad, right? And it goes back to caring about what other people think, right? And I could hear people from when I was a kid, you still care about what other people think, you still care about it. And, those be the ones that be caring too, okay? But the good thing about this is being aware. See, when you aware, you can change that, right? And so be grateful for when people show you exactly how you showing up, okay? Because, honey, it's one of two things that's gonna occur, okay? You're gonna level up with them goddamn boundaries. You're gonna stick to them, okay? You're gonna start exercising your goddamn no more, okay? You are going to start doing things that is going to benefit you. And the other thing is either that or you just keep on repeating, of course, keep getting the lessons, okay? And so I gave this person $1,000, right? It was my youngest children's father for taxes because, all right, let me just give you guys the gist of it. So in 2020, I believe it was 2020. Yeah, 2020. I said me and my youngest children, or 2019, me and my youngest children's father broke up, right? And what wound up happening was I had decided to put him on child support because when I would ask him for stuff, it was like, he agreed to it, he had make an agreement, but first, before the child support part came in, he was helping pay rent, right? And the rent, it was like $300, okay, Section 8. $300, and he done moved out already. So he was like, I could pay it for, I believe it was like 2 months. I could pay it for 2 months, whatever it was, right? So he gave me the money for the rent, the $300. And at that time, I had got kicked off of welfare, right? So I had to start coming out of pocket for food and stuff. And I had 4 children. So I felt like the 300, it wasn't like enough because I'm like, your children, your 2 children, they stay here. And I would ask him like if he had money for food because at that time, if you guys seen my previous videos of, me doing Uber and Lyft, whereas though I talk about, so I would do 12 hours for Uber, sometimes 12 hours for Lyft, right? Because it's a cap on rideshare. So it became very frustrating and draining. And not only that, like it started eating away my happiness, right? Because now I'm more focused on survival mode than anything else. And so I decided to detach myself from the vehicle that I had, right? Because I had a car note and I detached myself. Fast forward, the vehicle got repoed, okay? So later on, me and my children's father got, I came up with a plan. I said, if you could give $250 every 2 weeks, every week for the children. No, every 2 weeks, I think, for the children. And he agreed, but then reneged later one day when I was in school. He sent me a text, and it was the same day, whereas though he was supposed to send the $250. And he was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it. Something came up. So then I said, I felt like, damn, we had a agreement, whatever, and like you reneged on the agreement. So that was that. And then we had another agreement. He did the same thing. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't put him on child support. Like going back and forth with myself because still I want to be this nice person. I still want to, make this person, don't want this person to be upset, whatever. And then thinking that there's a possibility of us getting back together. Honey, I was insane in the midbrain, okay? And so what wound up happening, I got frustrated. I got sick and tired of being so-called foolish, nice, okay? And so what I did was I filed the paperwork to take him to court to put him on child support. So when we got to court, the first time it was, he was basically saying that he wanted a DNA test. Mind you, and that was another thing. So we agreed that he had picked the children up on the weekends, right? From Friday up into Sunday. And it would be, again, last minute. Oh, I can't do it this week. I got something going on. I'm going to New York. I can't pick them up right at the last minute. And so that's what really pushed me. So when we went to court, he was basically saying like he wanted a DNA test, right, for our two children. And so I was in shock, like, what? Yeah, they look just like you. But whatever. I know most likely that was for him to stall. And so we did the DNA test. It came out, of course, that those was his children. And so then, they started saying he had to pay a certain amount every 2 weeks. And also that he had to pick the children up, right? Longer than what I initially said. Okay. So that same year, 2020, right? Because now it went into 2020. This happened in February 2020. So that same year, what I noticed was he wanted to claim the kids for some strange reason. And I was like, bro, you just said you just wanted a DNA test. And he was like, yeah, but you knew I was going to claim the kids and all this other stuff. And so I went ahead and claimed the kids. And then he made me, well, I allowed him to make me feel bad about doing it, like me claiming the kids. Although he done basically denied and said that those wasn't his kids, but because, it came out and he was stalling, now he want to say he want to claim them, right? So what wound up happening was afterwards, at that time I was receiving like so much money. And from the return, from my tax return, I gave him $1,000, right? And I told him I think I was going to give him 1,500, and I would give him the money, because they was giving money every week, like for the children that was under, the children that was 6 and under. I think 2020 or 2021. Right. And so I was like, all right, well, I give you 150 from that. And then I give you $1,000. I give you 1,500. And so I sent him $1,000 through Cash App. And he was livid. He was like, he called me. He was like, you just said you was gonna give me 1,500, and you just sent me $1,000. Right. And I was like, damn, I really didn't have to send you nothing. Right. Like after all this stuff we've been through, I really didn't have to send you nothing. But me again, the shadow side, wanting to be nice, right? Sends him the money. So now fast forward, right? I felt, so he claimed our children without letting me know that he was going to claim them. And for this year. And I felt some type of way because I was like, what the, when I went to my accountant, she told me like, oh, Dina, somebody claimed the children already. And I was like, what? Because I was like, I know, the only one who could have done it was him, right? My youngest children's father. I was like, but when I spoke to him, he act like nothing happened. So when I called him, I said, listen, did you claim, I said, you claimed the children. I was like, why didn't you let me know? So he started giving his mumbo talk like, oh, well, I didn't actually put it through. I gave the accountant like my W-2, the form, the paperwork and stuff, but I didn't actually put it through. So I'm like, well, if you gave it to her, the reason you gave it to her was to expect that, for her to fail, for you to fail, whatever. So then I had started feeling some type of way because I started thinking back because most likely he got his return already. And I was like, damn, I gave him $1,000 and he didn't give me anything. And so to the person out there, that's why I say, do not give what you don't want to give. Don't expect people to do for you what you may have done for them. And to give something and expect like 2 years later or 3 years later, like, oh, well, I gave them that time, they gonna come through. That's not necessarily how it works. And then also that's a form of you really not giving because you expecting something in return. So it's really something that I'm learning. One, that what I'm learning is to embrace my shadow side, and not to give a damn about how people feel about me when I exercise my damn no. Okay. Another thing is, don't expect somebody to do for you what you have done for them. That's not, like I said, that's not how it works. Okay. If you giving from the heart, then you don't expect anything in return, because is what you have extra of, right? It's like your cup runneth over, and you giving them the stuff that's out of the cup, not the stuff that's in a cup. And one of the things that I'm grateful for is for people to show me how I'm showing up in life. Because when people show you, like I said, you have a choice to exercise that no, to stick to them boundaries more, or to keep repeating the lessons. And so I'm grateful for him, my youngest children's father, for showing me exactly how I'm showing up. Okay. And so with that being said, I hope you guys got something from this. Your shadow side is not like a bad side. The shadow side came from when you was a child, right? Maybe you have heard, I know for me, I used to hear a lot. I had a big attitude. I had an attitude problem. And the reason I had an attitude was that was a form of me, I guess like protecting myself from getting hurt. It also was a form of, not knowing how to deal with my anger and frustration. So it would come out like, oh, she got a nasty attitude or whatever. And so being told that all the time as a child, right, it makes you grow up and be like, well, I don't want to show people like, their other side of me because they ain't gonna like it. Or, I want to be liked, or I want to be nice, right? And nice actually is derived from Latin. It actually means foolish if you look it up. But yeah, be authentic to you. Okay, love you, and do understand that it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say hell no. It's okay to say absolutely positively and no. Okay. And you're gonna be tested. Because I notice like when I do these videos, right? It's like I get tested. So you're going to be tested. And like I said, the awareness is key, because whatever you are aware of, honey, you can change it. All right. And with that being said, I love you guys. Make sure you're rocking out, believing in yourself. Make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe, and check out my next video. Peace.